I, 28 am, was dating this girl who demanded $1,000 every Sunday for shopping or she'd find someone who will. I calmly said, okay, then told her to go home and enjoy life with another guy. She called herself a strong, independent woman, so I left her to prove it. Looking back, I should have seen the red flags earlier. But when you're 28 and think you found someone special, you tend to overlook things that would otherwise send you running for the hills. Sarah and I had been dating for about 4 months. Things started normally enough: dinner dates, movie nights, weekend trips to the beach. She was undeniably attractive, I'll admit. That boosted my ego at first. Here I was, this regular guy, with someone who looked like she could be on magazine covers. But somewhere around month 3, things began to shift. It started small. Comments about my apartment not being upscale enough for her friends to visit. Suggestions that I should dress better, drive a nicer car, take her to more expensive restaurants. I brushed it off initially, thinking maybe she was just trying to help me improve myself. Then came that Sunday morning in late October. We were having coffee at my place, and she was scrolling through her phone, showing me designer bags and jewelry she'd been eyeing online. The prices made my stomach turn, single items that cost more than my monthly rent. You know what would make me really happy? She said, not looking up from her screen. What's that? I asked, genuinely curious. She set her phone down and looked at me with this serious expression I'd never seen before. I think we need to establish some ground rules if this relationship is going to work. Ground rules? That was news to me. Okay, what kind of ground rules? Well, she began, crossing her legs and leaning back like she was about to deliver a business proposal. I've been thinking about what I need from a partner. And honestly, I need someone who can provide for me properly. I felt a weird knot forming in my stomach, but I stayed quiet and let her continue. So here's what I'm thinking. Every Sunday, you give me $1,000 for shopping. Consider it my weekly allowance. That way, I can maintain the lifestyle I'm accustomed to, and you can show me that you're serious about this relationship. I blinked a few times, certain I had misheard her. I'm sorry, what? $1,000. Every Sunday. For shopping. She said it so casually, like she was asking me to pick up groceries. Sarah, that's $4,000 a month. That's more than most people's rent. She waved her hand dismissively. Look, I'm not asking for anything crazy here. I know what I bring to this relationship. I'm beautiful, I'm fun, and honestly, I have options. There are plenty of guys out there who would love to be with me and would happily take care of me financially. The knot in my stomach tightened. Options? Oh yeah, she said, picking up her phone again and scrolling through what looked like dating app notifications. See this? Dozens of messages from guys who are practically begging for my attention. Lawyers, doctors, business owners. Men who understand that quality comes at a price. She looked up at me with this expectant smile, like she'd just offered me the deal of a lifetime. So really, you should feel lucky that I chose you. All I'm asking for is a simple commitment. $1,000 every Sunday. That's it. Show me you're worth my time, or I'll find someone who will. The room fell completely silent except for the ticking of my wall clock. I stared at her, processing what had just happened. This woman, whom I'd been falling for, had just reduced our entire relationship to a financial transaction. So, she said, breaking the silence, what do you say? I looked at her for a long moment, watching as she sat there with that self-satisfied expression, completely confident that I'd cave to her demands. The silence stretched between us, and I could see her getting slightly uncomfortable, probably expecting me to start negotiating or begging. Instead, I felt this strange sense of calm wash over me. It was like a fog had suddenly lifted, and I could see the situation with perfect clarity. Okay, I said quietly. Her face lit up immediately. Really? Oh my God, I knew you'd understand. You won't regret this, I promise. I already have my eye on this amazing Chanel bag that would be perfect for. No, Sarah. I interrupted, my voice still calm but firm. Okay, then go home and enjoy your life with another guy. The words hung in the air between us. Her mouth actually fell open, and she stared at me like I'd just spoken in a foreign language. The confidence that had been radiating from her moments before seemed to drain from her face. What did you just say? I said, okay. You have all these options, all these guys waiting for you who can afford your lifestyle. So go be with one of them. She set her phone down slowly, her eyes never leaving mine. You're joking, right? This is some kind of negotiation tactic? No, I'm completely serious. But you can't just. I mean, look at me. She gestured to herself, clearly bewildered. Do you have any idea what you're giving up? I stood up from the couch and walked to the kitchen, more to give myself space to think than because I needed anything. She followed me, her heels clicking against the hardwood floor. This is insane, she continued, her voice rising slightly. No one talks to me like this. Ever. Do you know how many guys would kill to be in your position? I turned around to face her, leaning against the kitchen counter. Then call one of them. Her face was flushed now, a mix of anger and disbelief. You're making a huge mistake. You'll never find anyone like me again. I'm counting on it. That seemed to hit her differently than anything else I'd said. She took a step back, and for the first time since I'd known her, she looked genuinely rattled. You're insulting me, she said, her voice shaking slightly. This is incredibly insulting. I shook my head. No, Sarah, I'm not insulting you. I'm just being honest. How is this not an insult? You're basically telling me I'm not worth it. I'm telling you that your lifestyle is too expensive for me. So there's no insult, just reality. She crossed her arms, trying to regain some of her earlier composure. Fine, fine. Then tell me, what amount would you be willing to spend on me? What's your counteroffer? The question caught me off guard, not because I hadn't expected it, but because of how transactional it sounded. Here was someone I had genuinely cared about, someone I'd shared intimate moments with, reducing everything between us to a dollar amount. What amount would I spend on you? I repeated. Yes. Give me a number. What's realistic for you? 500? 300? I might be willing to compromise. I looked at her standing there in my kitchen, waiting for me to bid on her affections like she was some kind of auction item. The whole situation felt surreal. 0, I said. The words seemed to echo in the small space between us. Her face went through several expressions in rapid succession, confusion, then something that looked almost like panic. 0, she whispered, as if she couldn't believe what she'd heard. $0. Nothing. I won't be paying you an allowance to date me, Sarah. That's not how relationships work. She stood there for a moment, clearly processing this information. Then something shifted in her demeanor. The panic was replaced by a defensive anger. You know what? Fine, fine, she said, her voice getting louder. This just proves that you never really cared about me anyway. If you did, you'd want to take care of me. I remained leaning against the counter, watching her unravel. It was actually sad to witness. This person I'd thought I was getting to know revealing herself to be someone completely different. I'm a strong, independent woman who doesn't need a man, she declared, grabbing her purse from the couch. I don't need this. I don't need you. The irony wasn't lost on me. 2 minutes ago, she was demanding $1,000 a week from me, and now she was claiming independence. But I didn't point that out. There was no need to. Then we're in agreement, I said calmly. She whirled around to face me. Do you realize what you're doing? I'm giving you one last chance here. Think about this carefully. You'll never find anyone like me again. Never. That moment was when everything crystallized for me. Standing there in my kitchen, looking at this woman who was trying to manipulate me into paying for the privilege of dating her, I realized something important. She was absolutely right. I would never find anyone like her again, and that was exactly what I was hoping for. You're right, Sarah. I won't find anyone like you. That's kind of the point. Her mouth opened and closed a few times, but no words came out. She looked genuinely stunned, like the possibility that someone might actually prefer not to find someone like her had never occurred to her. This is unbelievable, she muttered, slinging her purse over her shoulder. You're going to regret this. When I'm with someone who actually appreciates what I bring to a relationship, you're going to realize what you lost. Maybe, I said, but I doubt it. She headed toward the door, then stopped and turned back to me one more time. Just so you know, I had 3 dates lined up for next week. 3. Guys who would never treat me like this. Then you should probably get going. Wouldn't want to keep them waiting. That seemed to be the final straw. She opened her mouth like she was about to say something cutting, but then just shook her head and walked out. The door slammed behind her with enough force to rattle the picture frames on my wall. I stood there in the sudden silence of my apartment, waiting to feel something. Regret, maybe? Loss. But all I felt was relief. Pure, overwhelming relief. The crazy thing is, in that moment, I realized that this whole situation had been a gift. Not her ultimatum. That was manipulative and awful. But the clarity it brought me was invaluable. She'd shown me exactly who she was. And more importantly, she'd shown me who I was too. I was someone who wouldn't be bought. Someone who valued genuine connection over transactional relationships. Someone who recognized that real love doesn't come with a price tag. Over the next few weeks, I heard through mutual friends that Sarah was indeed dating someone new. Apparently a guy who drove a BMW and took her on expensive shopping trips. I felt genuinely happy for both of them. They sounded perfect for each other. As for me, I saved myself from what would have been a toxic, financially draining relationship with someone who saw me as nothing more than a wallet with legs. And honestly, that $1,000 a week she wanted, I put it toward a down payment on a house instead. Looking back, I can't believe I almost fell for her act. But I'm grateful it happened when it did, before I invested any more time or emotion into someone who was fundamentally incompatible with my values.